Hello and welcome to Karlshochschule International University. My name is Lutz Becker and I'm a professor for management and leadership, and I'm the head of Karlshochschule's consecutive master program leadership. Berlin today is a cultural and an entrepreneurial melting pot. Here in Berlin, I met Fabian Hansmann and Gabriel Yoran, both two young serial entrepreneurs who started their first business already as high school students. I've been working with them since the year 2000. Among others, and besides Steganos, Fabian co-founded the incubator founderslink.com and Gabriel founded the mobile social media network akiaki.com. With Fabian and Gabriel, I talked about the challenges young leaders and young entrepreneurs face in business.
You want to start?
Sure. So I'm Fabian Hansmann. I'm one of the founders of Steganos, a software security company we created when we were, I think, 16 years old. And since 2005, I'm not in the operative business of the company anymore, but did my MBA after Steganos in Singapore and Fontainebleau. And after that, I created a company that is in the venture creation space, as we call it. That means that we are, as an institutional co-founder, creating companies. That company is called Founderslink. And we look for interesting business concepts, in particular in the internet space. We look for potential entrepreneurs who can build those companies and help those entrepreneurs, for example, in the fundraising process, to build that company and to make it successful, and then sell the stock or get dividends out of those companies we are creating.
My name is Gabriel Yoran. I'm also founder of Steganos. As Fabian said, we did this together, I think we were 16 or 17 or something. And I've been in operations of this company since 2004. I then moved to Berlin and started studying social and economic communications at the Berlin University of the Arts, and founded again in 2006 a company called Aki, which is a location-based mobile social network. Right now, I also work as a mentor at the Founder Institute, helping other founders to get their company right and help to solve their typical founder problems. And I'm in the European Union's social networking group, which means that we're discussing the future of social networking in Europe, which is a particularly difficult topic on a political level.
And I'd like to use this time for some advertising of Seedcamp, a company where we have been one of the founding investors that helps young startup companies to grow by mentoring them and by investing small amounts of money. And Seedcamp has been founded in London, but today there are events in Minsk, Paris, Berlin, I think in Moscow the first time this year. So it's spreading over the world. End of the advertising.
Okay, can you please tell us an anecdote or an episode that you would consider as typical for your situation as a young entrepreneur what happened in the last years?
I think one of the most important things that a founder will go through in the process of building their company is the moment where an investor steps in, an institutional investor steps in. And if my memory serves me right, we had this moment in 1999, I think December 1999, shortly before the big bubble, the first new economy bubble burst. And you will feel mesmerized by the sheer amount of money that suddenly is on the table. The things that you will think of is how much money is it, and what am I going to have to give away from my company's shares, which is the simple way that most people think about a situation like this, especially when a venture capitalist is interested in your company. And then you're normally very happy, and you tell them everything they want to know, because you want the money to build your company. And most of the people then, most of the young founders, look at only at these two numbers. How much money do I get, and how many percentage of my company do I have to give away? And this is plain wrong. We did a lot of mistakes when we did this for the first time, and when we did this a second time, a third time, etc., then you start to really care for all the little details. So the one thing that I would like to let founders know is, do not focus on these two numbers only in the situation where you do your first financing round, but really think about the more fundamental questions that arise from having a VC in your company. I mean, do you really need a VC in your company? Have you thought through the consequences? So, for example, what happens if after some years you want to leave the company, or what happens if the interest or the goals of the investor becomes something else compared to your own goals? In the beginning, you might think, well, we have the same ideal, we both want the company to grow, we both want to create value, but perhaps after a while, these goals might change. Perhaps your ideals in life change. Perhaps you come into a different situation in your life, and where suddenly your goals are not the same anymore. And there are a lot of things like preferred liquidations, for example. So who gets the money first in case the company is being sold? Is it the investor that gets the money first, and then the rest is being shared? And how is this mode exactly? So there are a lot of ways to tweak such an investment agreement, to tweak an agreement in such a way that it looks very nice, as long as you only look at these two numbers, but actually you're not just selling your soul, but you really sign something very stupid if you don't care for all the details. So don't let yourself, don't get blinded by the big numbers or the relatively low percentage they want to have from your company.
What I experience again and again is the moment when a new company is created. So I created, together with the co-founders, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies so far, and it's always amazing what happens when you just start. Before you start a company and you only have the business plan, there are a lot of questions, a lot of theory, a lot of analytics, and once you start going, you see more and more options to come. You see how people who in the first place were very critical, if that all makes sense, start to panic if they can still somehow participate in a new company. That's for me again and again a moment of magic, if there is something like magic in the game of creating companies, and I think there is.